Welcome to the first ever episode of the Real College Reviews podcast. I'm Jude Bazerman, your host. I'm here with my good friend Ty Vastola. Ty, how about you give us a little intro of yourself, the college you go to, your major, anything else you want to share?
All right, so my name's Ty Vastola. I just finished up my freshman year at the University of Delaware. Let's go Blue Hens. I'm currently a sport manager. I play hockey at the school. And, it's about it for basic intro. I have an internship with the Jets right now, which is pretty cool. I get to hang out
That's
with
where you just came from, right?
Yeah, get to hang out with Aaron Rodgers all day. That's pretty cool. But yeah, that's about it for me.
So, I guess just right off the bat, you brought up internship. Did University of Delaware help you get that at all?
No, so actually, I got very lucky. So my dad, he plays ball hockey with the vice president of ticket sales for the Jets. So I had a direct contact. Also, my old football coach, Tom Lamont, his son, Will Lamont, also works in the Jets ticket sales department. So I had two contacts right off the bat, and I just sent out an email to the guy that my dad is friends with, Larry Fitzpatrick. I just said, hey, do you have anything that I can come in for? And it's not really like a real internship. It's not like a real position. But he said I come in around 2-3 days a week, and I just shadow him and other people. And then whenever they need help with anything, I help them out. And it's really cool. It's a great experience just to see what goes on in the
Absolutely,
building.
yeah.
Also, I get to put it on my resume for free.
Yeah.
I get to put that I worked in the Jets building, so hopefully when I'm applying for a job in the future, they see, whether it's the Jets or somewhere else, they could see that I, was able to.
You have this experience,
Right.
especially as young as you are. You're just a rising sophomore.
Exactly.
So am I. And I guess just going off that as well, if I'm not mistaken, University of Delaware is very well known for sports management, right?
Yeah, our sport management program is amazing. One of the main things I was looking for, because sport management isn't really a popular major. Also, there's not too many, I guess, opportunity. It's not very broad. It's pretty specific.
Yeah, it is a very narrow field.
Right. So I was more when I was looking at Delaware for sport management, I saw how hands-on they were with the program. For my first semester I only took one sport management class.
Okay.
But the first semester, what I did, or what my class was, there were so many people that came in and guest spoke. And
really?
And
That's amazing. Yeah.
It was so awesome, and they would tell us about what they do. So the experience I'm getting with the Jets right now, I already I wouldn't say I knew, but I had prior knowledge because there were so many people.
Because of your classes.
There's some guy from the Phillies. There's a lot of people within the school that came, and actually part of going on with your question.
Yeah.
Next semester, or not next semester, spring semester of my sophomore year, I'm going to be doing a practicum, which is I have to work for one of the Delaware sports teams. So
Okay.
I'm going to choose. I'm hoping I could choose the lacrosse team.
Yeah.
And I work for the lacrosse team, and that counts as a class.
Oh, really?
So that counts
That's
for
a cool
credit.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what when I was researching Delaware, that was one of the main things I was looking into. They have a great program.
No, that's amazing. And just to give everyone a geographic sense of University of Delaware, it's 25 miles south of Philadelphia, and then 2 hours south of New York City as well.
So it's really close to all pretty much anything, any main cities you really need. Baltimore's about 45 minutes
Forgot about
south.
Baltimore too.
Baltimore's about 45 minutes south. Philly's about 45 minutes, a little northwest, and then the city's 2.5 hours north. So if you want any and there's also the Wilmington I forget what
Blue Rocks, I
the
think.
Blue Rocks,
Yeah.
yes, that is their name. And that's a place, the minor league baseball team, that's a place where a lot of University of Delaware grads start out.
Yeah.
They start out with, a local minor league baseball team, and then they move up in the ranks.
No, that's great. And it just really seems right in that Northeast megalopolis. So many opportunities, like you've said. And also, I looked at University of Delaware. It was up on my list when deciding, and it's definitely a great school. Going off that, what other schools were in your, final decision besides University of Delaware? And then when did you eventually decide commit to Delaware?
Right. So I pretty much knew when I was going to Delaware around February, March, around then. I took a while. I applied late, so I didn't really get many applications back for a while. James Madison was my number 2 school. My sister goes there, so I had been there a lot in the past, and I loved it. One of the things that turned me off was they didn't have as like I was saying before, they didn't have as good of a sport management program as University of Delaware. Plus, hockey. I play hockey, and the hockey program at James Madison was not nearly as good as it is at Delaware. So, and then Rutgers was my next school, and I actually got waitlisted at Rutgers. I'm probably would have gotten in if I reapplied, but that also Rutgers was too big. One of the things I like about Delaware was it's a big campus. Like there's 20,000 kids.
Yeah.
I'm sure you noticed.
And it
this
feels
when you
really small.
It
I'm gonna
feels
guess that's
really
what you're gonna
small,
say.
Exactly.
Yeah, it does.
Like when I took your brother on the tour, or I didn't go on the tour with them, but
you took
know,
him around campus.
Yeah, right. So when
how long did you say it's to get from one end to the other?
45 minutes.
Yeah,
It's-
for a
and
school that big,
for
that's
a school
really
of
good.
20,000
Yeah.
people, like people get like scared of like the number 20,000. They
Yeah.
think that like it's a lot, but like it's really not. Like, and especially like you'll make like it's so easy to make like small friend groups and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's why I loved it. I thought it was perfect for me to decide on Delaware.
But really, yeah, like you said, James Madison, Rutgers, obviously Delaware, so mostly just big state schools.
Yeah, Penn State was up there as
Gotcha.
well. You know, Rutgers I didn't like because it was so spread
It's
out.
no hate on Rutgers, but it is
No,
a very
yeah. Listen,
fantastic school. I'm
Yeah.
sure I'll on sometime soon, but it is very big, like land area wise.
I just hate like again. I'm sure I would have been having a great time at Rutgers as well if I chose to go there, but the fact that I need to like bus around from campus to campus, that kind of turned me off.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And, just going back to your class, you mentioned that one amazing sports management class that you will take working for a team and it counts as a credit. First of all, that's amazing. But freshman year, what were your classes like? Was it mostly like gen eds? And then how hard were they? What were the professors like?
A lot of gen ed. So first semester, I struggled. I wouldn't say I struggled. Like I didn't fail any classes, but I struggled a little bit for what I'm usually capable of.
Yeah.
I took sport management. I took a U.S. history class up until 1865. So that was a class I was just like,
that's a
as long as
snoozer.
I got a C minus, so I was like, all right, I passed. I got it done with. So it was like, like a lot of gen ed. Like I took micro and macro econ. I took statistics. Shout out to Mr. Edwards,
Our lovely former math teacher.
Favorite teacher of all time,
James Cobble High School.
Yep.
Shout out.
And but yeah, that actually helped. Not even kidding. That actually helped me having a prior knowledge of statistics.
And I don't mean to interrupt, but I also took statistics first semester, and
yeah,
it was very easy because of what our guy had taught us. But back to what you were saying, Ty.
But yeah, I took like English, so it was a lot of gen eds, and even the first semester of next year is still going to be a lot of gen eds. But then, as I was saying, spring semester, sophomore year, that's when I'm taking that practicum where I could work for a team, and then I still have like 2 other sport management classes on top of it.
Okay.
So second semester, sophomore year is when it really picks up in major classes.
Gotcha.
At least at Delaware.
Gotcha. And how are your professors, at least for the gen ed class? Because those are really stuff that everyone who goes to Delaware is going to be taking at some point. Are they nice? And also, how big are the classes? Because Delaware, Syracuse as well, bigger size school.
Yeah.
I had a couple lectures. Is it the same for you?
So I'd say average. It really depends on like what type of class like my economics class I took micro and macro, as I said, they both had about 250 300 kids.
So those big lecture halls,
huge lecture
professor has to wear a mic,
professor
stuff
wears
like
a
that.
microphone, never knows your name, like that type of stuff. Then I had like my history class I struggled with. That was about 80 kids. I hated the professor. I would say no hate to her name, but I totally forgot her name. I don't think I ever knew her name. It like that class. Anyone going to the University of Delaware, anyone listening, don't take U.S. history up until 1865. It's the worst class ever.
I will say this though. Did you check rate my professors before choosing that class?
Well, not last year because as a freshman,
did they give you your classes?
I wouldn't say I got assigned. Oh yeah, I pretty much got assigned. This semester I did, and I made sure I especially last semester, like because I knew like that was a thing. But like that history class, she literally first day of class, it was the funniest thing. I swear, dude. She was like, she didn't even say her name. This is why I didn't know her name. She literally just goes, "Hi, welcome to U.S. history up until 1865," and she just pulls out a PowerPoint. Like literally didn't even get like no
That's
syllabus.
Horrible. That's horrible.
Like,
no silly week. What happened to that?
No silly week. Silly week wasn't even a thing for that class. She literally just goes, "Take out your notebooks," and we didn't watch a single video, not a single we had like class discussions, but like it was very much just like I'm presenting notes and it's up to you, and then she'd give us pop quizzes. So that's why I hated pop quizzes. So like and you never knew when they were, and she was just like, "Well, you gotta take good notes." so I could never skip a class either if I wanted to.
Yeah, or if you needed to, if you were sick.
Exactly.
That's also a big issue.
So funny you say that. I missed because I had hockey.
Yeah.
So I had missed a class for hockey, and we had a quiz on that day. And I had to actually introduce myself to her. I was like, "Oh, I'm Ty, and I play hockey at the school." So, I actually missed the quiz, and she was nice. I just didn't think they're nice. Sometimes they're just not good professors.
Yeah. Besides U.S. history up till 1865, most of your professors are good people, understanding.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Knowledgeable. Okay, good.
Sorry, I'm ranting about that.
No. Anyone who wants to go to the University of Delaware or is going,
don't take that class. Yeah,
no.
Drop that. Also, don't take chemistry. I went to one chemistry lecture second semester.
And you're not a STEM guy whatsoever, right?
No.
Yeah.
No, yeah, you're talking to the wrong guy when it comes to that type of stuff. But yeah, overall, professors are great. And what I love about Delaware, especially in those big classes, they always have so many TAs available. And
do you like the TAs?
I love the TAs.
Okay.
So TAs are actually so helpful. So my econ class this year, macro, there would be the big lecture, but then once a week a TA would teach 30 of us.
Okay.
So it'd be a little bit of a separate class, and there are people that don't ask questions in class, don't really go to class. So that's your time to make up on some stuff that you may have missed, because obviously when professors are presenting in front of 250 people, they don't have time to answer every single question.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they got to go and they got to finish in time. So I love TAs. They're usually really helpful. How is it at your school? TAs are good?
I've had a mixed experience with them. I'd say that my professors mostly, even in the big lectures, were very good, responded to emails quickly, all that good stuff. I didn't really like a lot of my TAs. There were a couple that were pretty good, but a lot of them, it really just seemed like they were doing it to get something on their resume.
Right.
But I'm glad that you've had a different experience.
Yeah. Did you guys have a lot of international TAs? That's
all.
So
that's a big thing.
That was all of my TAs were international, except for one. Literally, I had one throughout the entire year.
Really?
First and second semester, I only had one TA that wasn't international. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference, but it was just something interesting that I noticed.
No, same at Syracuse, and I think same at Rutgers and Penn State and all these other big schools.
I'm sure that's a big thing.
Yeah. But just moving away from life in the classroom, what's it like, on UDEL's campus? First off, what's the typical University of Delaware student? Just some characteristics of who you might run into in Newark, Delaware.
I think that there's so many different types of people that you can run into. So I was saying, the fact that it's a big school, you will see every type of kid. There's kids I'm a pretty much you could say I'm an extrovert. I'd say.
I would agree with that. For anyone listening,
I'm pretty open to meeting new people and whatnot. But then there are a lot of people that aren't like that.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really I couldn't say that there's a specific type of person that you're gonna meet at Delaware, but you're gonna meet anybody you'll be able to make friends no matter what you're into. There's so much different stuff. I got lucky. I was able to meet friends. Obviously, on the hockey team, I made friends with them. But I made friends with kids that lived in a dorm next to me. I'm not even in my dorm.
Yeah.
So, any type of kid you could possibly want, boy and girl, you'll find. I feel like that's the case. I'm sure that's the case of Syracuse, too.
Yeah.
The big schools, you could find any type of kid you want.
So just really diverse when it comes to the type of students there.
I mean, I'd say, for the most part, Delaware's a big, party school. People
I was about to
love
ask
go
about
out.
that, yeah.
So, I'd say for the most part, there's a lot of kids like me that are, there to have a good time, and, the frat life's huge. Greek, frat and sorority life.
Yeah, how
huge.
many of your friends or just people are involved in it? Is it a big number or more on the smaller side?
It's a big number. So pretty much everybody that I know that doesn't play hockey is involved.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
I wouldn't say everybody, but again, that's the thing. One of my closest friends, he's a chemical engineering major. He has no time for a frat.
Yeah.
And he's he's a really good guy, and his name's Eric. He's one of my closest friends, but he rushed and he realized that wasn't for him. But then on the other side, my friend Noah, him and Noah were roommates, and they're all also really close, and Noah's in a frat. So there's a lot of kids in frats. I'm not, because of hockey, so we have our own stuff. So I haven't really felt the need to be in a frat, and frats are expensive at Delaware. They're like $800 a year, so that's a lot of money that because I'm already spending money on hockey, which costs over $2,500 a year. It's
Wow,
expensive.
I didn't realize there was that. Are most club sports that expensive, or just because it's hockey?
Just because it's hockey.
Okay.
Hockey's because we travel. I mean, we're going down to South Carolina and Florida,
which is
and
still
Niagara.
amazing. I think it's worth that price. If I
Oh
had the
no,
opportunity to play it.
I totally agree. But I'm
If
just
I
saying.
didn't get cut from the baseball team on the first day.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like me, like financially, I can't really.
No.
If I don't need to be in a frat, why would I? But yeah,
Exactly.
Greek life's huge. Greek life's definitely big. Like, I'd say most kids that are like me that don't play a sport are in a frat.
Gotcha. Well, going off that, I mean, I know you play sport. You have your own stuff going on besides, actually playing and practicing, but, they do their own stuff as well. For someone, myself, I'm not in a fraternity right now at Syracuse. Would there be stuff for me to do on weekends at the University of Delaware, like bars or restaurants or just off-campus events?
Well, I wouldn't say any of that type of stuff. Bars in Delaware, you have to be 21.
There no fake IDs are sliding by?
Not even in the slightest.
Wow.
There's a kid that I know. I actually know of one story of a kid getting in with a fake ID, and he literally looked like he was 21 by the time he was 12. And he only went in once. He was like, "Oh, that was like the most nervous I've ever been." He looked like he was 28 by the time he was 21. But yeah, no, like I wouldn't say that there's nothing for you to do, but there's no like big parties that you could really get into.
Yeah.
If you know a kid in a frat, that could definitely help you. But it's very much like you'd like to be involved in something at Delaware, like whether it's a frat or a sport team or a club. Clubs do a lot of stuff. Like there'd be times in like the student center, like it's like student concerts. Like that's pretty cool. I mean, like, just see like kids performing and whatnot. So there's stuff to go on, like not like big ass parties per se.
Yeah.
But there's stuff going on. Like again, any type of kid will have a good time there.
So I'll put it this way: if I don't want to be sitting in my dorm room Friday, Saturday night, I won't be.
Yeah, like you'll find somewhere to go. Absolutely.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great. That's great to know. And then I also got to ask about this: how's the dining hall? Everyone likes to know about the dining halls on campus.
Yeah, it's inconsistent. There's nights where you're just like, Jesus Christ. I mean, what the hell?
Like you just want to starve. It's that.
Yeah,
bad.
I mean, sometimes it gets really bad, but then other nights like they have like wing Wednesdays, and they like have like, and it's like crazy. It's like the coolest thing ever. Actually, at one of the dining halls, there's two chefs, right? And this is on Wing Wednesday, and literally one chef will make one flavor of wings, and then the other one will make another flavor, and they give you both flavors. They're like, all right, like try them, and then they like there's like a poll, and you like vote for like which wing is better. It's actually pretty cool. But like the dining hall is good. I didn't do this my first semester because I thought I was just gonna eat dining hall. We have an affiliation with Grubhub. Do you guys have that?
I'm not really sure. I'm not the
Yeah.
biggest third-party order. It's just so much money.
Well, that's the thing. It's really not because there's a dining plan that goes with.
Really?
So like, I think I went down to 10 meal swipes a week, and then I would have $500 a semester to spend on Grubhub.
Oh wow.
So restaurants like there's Chick-fil-A on campus. There's a Denny's on campus. There's like it was like a local cheesesteak place, Quiznos. So like pretty much chain restaurants really, but you'd be able to use dining dollars on that. So that's what I did. And next semester, I'm really not going to get any swipes. I'm just going to get all like dining dollars so I could Grubhub order all this stuff.
And are you living on campus next year, like in a dorm room? What's your living situation? And
So-
how was it this past year?
So my dorm was nice. I wouldn't say like there's definitely nicer dorms. Like mine didn't have AC or anything.
Yeah, that's a normal thing in these freshman dorms.
Yeah.
Mine didn't have either. I know most people
Mhm.
also didn't have AC unless, you're in Alabama or South Carolina, somewhere like that.
Yeah. So it was all right. Like the honors dorm where I met like most of my friends like that were freshmen, they had AC in their dorm. There was this new dorm called South Academy where most of the D1 athletes stayed.
Yeah.
South Academy had AC. A couple of the dorms on North Campus had AC. But AC doesn't really matter. It matters. I wouldn't say that. It matters, but
For the first couple weeks of the year, it
yeah,
matters,
and then you get a fan that you put right next to your face.
Delaware's not
dorm-
really like Florida, anyways.
No. So dorms are like they're dorms. I mean, at the end of the day,
You got by. There weren't any rats or anything like that.
You got to be realistic. I mean, like, yeah, there's no bugs and shit. Like, sorry, I didn't mean to curse. Earmuffs. Earmuffs. Family friendly podcast. But yeah, next year I'm living in an apartment off campus. It's called Continental Courts. It's actually right near my dorm. So it's considered off campus, but
it's just right.
Right on the border campus. That's what most people that live off campus
do.
Actually like. So it's funny. Like there's the main campus, and then there's like the south campus and the north campus. And then there's like a bunch of area like in between all the campuses, and that's still considered off campus, but you're literally in between the different campuses.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So that's the thing. It's like I'm off campus, but I'm literally a 5-minute walk away from all my classes.
Is that a normal thing that sophomores do? Like, is housing guaranteed?
No, it's not. So that is why most sophomores choose to live off campus, because it's not guaranteed. So like it's a lottery really. And even those dorms aren't the best dorms either. So, a lot and also like people get like, I mean, not me, I didn't really have any problem, but people get fed up with like RAs and like I wouldn't say like rules, because obviously like you're renting an apartment, so there's still gonna be rules, but like people like don't want to be like bothered with that type of stuff. Like a specific move-in date, like I get the lease to my apartment July 1st, so I can
go down there on July 2nd and do whatever you want.
So that's why like I feel like I just have a lot more freedom in the apartment. Like I'm getting like a full-size bed.
Do you have a kitchen in there?
I have a kitchen. We have 2 bathrooms. Like I have a bathroom in my room. So that's pretty cool. Like we have a washer and dryer, which is huge because
I don't have to go to a laundromat,
and I don't have to pay. Yeah. Don't have to. Well, I mean, you have to pay for like
detergent and all that,
but instead of paying for detergent plus $1.75 just to put the clothes in,
it's a nice bonus.
Mm-hmm.
And when did you have to start looking for this apartment? Because I know at other schools,
early September. So
wow. So how'd you even pick the kids you were gonna live with? Was it almost like you took a risk?
Listen, that's the thing. Again, hockey had just started in like September, so I wasn't really all that close with hockey kids, and I chose the kids that I've been like close with, the ones that live in the honors dorm, and I'm still very close to them. Like I'm gonna have a great time living with them. Like if it were up to me, if I could pretty much do it over, I'd say I'd rather get a house with like a bunch of hockey kids, rather than like an apartment. But you know what,
and you also have 2 more years.
It still have 2 more years. So, and it's funny you say that, because I literally the other day I was texting hockey friends because I'm gonna live with them junior year.
Yeah.
And we were talking about we're already looking into our house for our junior year.
Same here. Same with me. Yeah.
So like you have to find the place and like basically book it by September, maybe October. Like maybe October if you're lucky. If you want like a nice place, that's when you have to do it.
Which is it's crazy to think about. But if you're going to a big school like Delaware, I know Pittsburgh is like that too, where housing is not guaranteed. Same with Rhode Island. Something you just got to keep in mind. But you keep mentioning hockey, and I know it's a big part of what you do on campus.
Right.
How is it juggling time in between club hockey, which is a big commitment, and then your schoolwork as well?
Yeah, so as I was saying earlier, I struggled a little bit. I had like a 2.9 GPA, so I wasn't failing anything, but I should have had it better. So that was one of the things. There's 3 main things at college to do.
Yeah.
Number 1, go get a degree. Number 2, to play hockey. Number 3, to have a social life.
Yeah.
So that's a lot. It was a lot when I first got to college, and I'm first getting used to.
It's a huge learning curve from Caldwell, New Jersey.
Absolutely. And it's like, it's not only that, it's like you're living by yourself. You have to figure out when to eat by yourself.
You don't really know anyone on
campus. You have to meet
either.
new people. Meeting new people is a thing that you like have to do.
Yeah.
It's like you have to go out of your way to try to do that. But yeah, definitely hockey was a lot to juggle at the beginning, because we'd practice twice a week and then 2 games on the weekend. So that's 4 out of the 7 days that I was, busy with hockey, and my time management wasn't great. And what I did second semester was I got into a schedule. I could tell you my exact schedule right now.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
I would have class at 9 o'clock. and then it would go 9 to 10. I would eat breakfast from 10 to 10:30, go back to my dorm for like 30 minutes, class 11 to 12. I'd go to the gym, and then I'd go to the library pretty much right after. I'd do homework, and then I'd eat dinner, and then I have hockey at night. So that's how I got a routine. Getting a routine is so important. That's like something that I didn't realize. Yeah. But getting like not strict, because like you could do whatever you want.
If something
like,
comes up.
Yeah. Right, but I thought that getting like a routine that I got so used to, like literally like I would just do the same thing every single day. It got repetitive, but it was so nice for me to have a lot of structure.
Yeah.
And I would always have like, and if I ever wanted to go to like extra help with the TA, I would have time. So there was, I was lucky that I had like a lot of structure in my days.
I agree. I know for me that was important as well, especially because in high school it's an 8 to 3 day.
Yeah.
You and I both played sports after school, so it's really like 8 to 6, 8 to 7, and then you just do homework afterwards. Yeah. And in college, that kind of all goes away. So you got to go out of your way and really make it for yourself, which I found important as well.
Yeah, funny you say that. Like, I was thinking about this the other day, like how we ever like sat in school from 8 to 3.
Yeah.
I get tired when the class is like an hour. I'm like,
no, same with me.
I'm like, I want to go home. But like we sat in school from that long. It was crazy.
Which I got to ask you, you said your day started at 9 o'clock. I know a lot of my friends at school and even friends in Calder were like, any class before 10:30. What do you think about that? Do you like any day started earlier, or is it kind of a nuisance?
I think like there were some days like early class would be canceled, so I'd be able to sleep in a little bit.
Those are the best days.
But it's also like, it's really, unless the 8 a.m. classes are really tough. 8 a.m.'s a lot, but 9 o'clock I could deal with. Like, and I'm not the type of person that takes an hour to get ready in the morning. I'm
just a roll out of bed type
roll
of guy,
out of bed,
throw on the shoes,
like take a 5-minute shower, just throw on whatever's first in my drawer, pretty much just go to class. So like, there's a lot of people that are like, I can't take class. Like you said, like can't take class before 10, 11, especially on like Friday. Fridays are tough because Thursday's a big night for going out and whatnot. But you know what? Like, they're like, my dad loves to tell me this. He's like, if you're gonna like he goes, I don't care how much you go out and what type of stuff, as long as your grades are good. So, like, you're there to, like, you're there to have fun, but, like, also, like, you're there to go to school.
Yeah.
Going to school is, like, what
You're not going to have fun if you're failing out.
Exactly. So, like, you just have to, like, control yourself. Like, okay, like, on a Thursday, be like, okay, well, I have a class at 9 o'clock in the morning.
You got to get up for it.
Yeah, like, I'll get home by, like, 12 or 1, so I'm not, like, completely, dead in class. Like, yeah, I'd skip class here and there, but never anything, like, big. And
you didn't skip a class week 2 and then never go to it for the rest.
Exactly. I never skipped an exam or anything like that. So, again, that's all, like, time management. Like, yeah, like, you're there to have fun, but also, like, early class, like, it's an alarm. You just get up, you roll out of bed, like, you'll feel like you're tired for, like, but if you're tired for, like, throughout the class, you go and then you just take a nap right after. Like,
and really just suck it up, too.
Yeah, suck it up, exactly. Like, it's college. Like, you're meant to, like, test your limits a little bit when it comes to that type of stuff.
I think that's a great way of putting it. Yeah, you're not really going to go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't really push yourself. And I see that you've been doing that, which is great.
Yeah.
Just one thing you love about the University of Delaware, if there's just one thing.
The girls. Kidding. I love the vibe, I think that's like it's a very much like, if you ask anybody that goes to the University of Delaware, and I found this out like even like before, like once I said that I was going to go there.
Yeah.
Everybody that said like they were like, I've only heard good things about University of Delaware.
That's true. Yeah.
I just love how it's like like I was saying earlier, there's something to do for everyone. So like I love the fact that like everyone has a good time. Like obviously like there's stuff that happens, but like for the most part like I was just happy 24/7.
That's great. Yeah.
So like, and a lot of people struggle. Like listen, that's like a real thing. Like people go to college and whether it's homesick or like they just don't like the people that they're with.
Yeah, there's so many horror stories about people. Well, usually it's, there's obviously stuff that happens, but a lot of times people not getting out of their shell.
Yeah.
Just missing home and not focusing on what could be ahead. More so focusing on what's behind.
I felt like the vibe felt like you could just be yourself. So I was just myself.
No, that's amazing.
And like, that's why I love Delaware so much. Cause like, listen, and I might not, go out as much as say like a kid that goes to Penn State, like like, there's no like big football games, that type
Yeah.
of stuff. Like those are really cool, but like, there's something to be said about like I'm always happy. Like I'd have like bad days, but like
Everyone does, yeah, no
everyone
matter
has
where
bad
you
days.
are.
So like I was just like overall, I loved my experience, and that's what I'm there for. It's a great experience, great education, great hockey team, great social life. So that's why the vibe is just great there. Very, very fun, like energetic type. Like when it's nice out, everybody's out
On
on the
the
green,
quad,
out
throwing a
on the
football,
throwing a
frisbee,
football.
sunbathing.
I played spike ball every single day that it was nice out. I still stink at spike ball, but like that's like a thing. Like we had a turf field right outside of our dorms.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So
Yeah.
so we would go out and play on the turf. Like that's fun. Like it was awesome. Yeah.
No, that's amazing. But I don't mean to ruin the vibe, but is there anything you'd change about Delaware?
Yeah.
Small, large?
Yeah. The schedule. So this doesn't affect me as much as a lot of other people. So we go late August. Like classes start late August, and they go until late December, which isn't that
Like
or
the week before Christmas.
mid December. Yeah, okay. That doesn't really bother me. But what bothers me is the entire month of January is off. You don't like you're not on campus. You start the second week of February.
And that's the Delaware drought. I'm gonna.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we have this thing called winter session. So it's a third. So we technically have trimesters. So this is actually technically the second semester, and it's Delaware's a huge travel abroad school.
Yeah.
So a lot of people travel abroad in the winter. Like you go to, I know people that went to like Australia, Spain, Italy. Like so, like you go to like different continents and countries, and like that's what you do for the entire winter, which is cool. Like obviously like that's great, but for someone that's not gonna travel abroad like me, it sucks because I'm back on campus because I have hockey and I have practices and games in January, but the campus is dead. Like,
Is there?
there's
So no one's there besides the hockey and other sports
athletes.
teams.
It's athletes, and there are kids that like take on campus classes in January, but January is just a very dead time, and I feel bad. I mean, you think about a kid that doesn't travel abroad or doesn't take a winter class or doesn't play a sport.
Yeah.
They are home the entire month of January.
Without all their friends. 'Cause
Without all their
Syracuse,
friends.
we got back middle of January. Same with every other school.
And then we end, like, I know of a kid, Memorial Day weekend, he finished the Thursday night before Memorial Day.
Oh, that's awful.
I was like, I couldn't imagine that. Like, I usually go down the shore on that Thursday.
Yeah, most people from New Jersey.
And he still had a final on that Thursday night, like that we usually go down the shore. It was crazy. So like that's one thing that I just hate. Like if the schedule,
If they just push it up a couple weeks.
I get why they do it because travel abroad's a big thing, but I just hate the fact that it just takes so long to finish.
Yeah.
That's one of. I mean, that's the main thing. That was my main concern going in. And again, I was on campus, so like it wasn't that bad. Like I would just like hang out with my friends at night and then just go to the gym during the day. But like again, it gets very boring. It's very like
yeah. But I mean, if that's the only thing you'd change, and again, something out of your control, as long as you didn't give me a whole list there.
Yeah, I mean,
with all the good things you've said.
Yeah, I wish that there was more of a bar scene. So like you were saying, like I wish like for kids that aren't in frats or sports team, I wish there was more of like a nightlife for you.
Yeah.
Because frats are very strict. So
yeah, same at Syracuse.
So I'm lucky I know the president of a frat. So like anytime we're not doing anything as a hockey team, I can go to his frat. So I'm lucky that I could do that.
Yeah.
But a lot of kids don't know presidents of frats.
Yeah.
So they don't really have much to do, and there's no bar. Like there's not a single bar I could get into.
Unless you're a senior.
Unless you're 21. Yeah. So those are the two things I'd change.
But this is the final question. I'm always going to end on this for every future episode.
Mm-hmm.
And Ty, I want to ask you this. And I think I know the answer already, but I just want you to reaffirm it. Are you happy at the University of Delaware?
Very. Yeah, I literally answered it before, but yeah.
You answered it so many times before.
I'm very happy. Yeah, like anyone that's like, and I don't mean to, like say like everybody should go to Delaware because there's different schools for everybody. But for somebody like me, for what I'm into, it's like the perfect school. Like there are kids I probably wouldn't enjoy it as much as I do, definitely. But for me, it's like the perfect school. That's just the best for me. But I'm like whatever, like anything you've told me about Syracuse, you've always had positive stuff to say.
Yeah.
So like that's like maybe I wouldn't be as happy at Syracuse. There's a school for everyone, and I'm lucky that I found the one that fits me.
No, that's amazing. And that's what I love to hear. And that's what the whole point of this podcast is, so that everyone can find that school for them. Ty, I just want to say thank you for being the first person on air for this episode.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, man. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out